أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ثم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه الأخيار أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We are all welcome to our دروس البلاغة. Inshallah, as we said, we would be going to the second science under the ilm al-balagha, or second classification under the ilm al-balagha. We have the ilm al-ma'ani fairly taken care of at the, let's say, the beginner level or the upper beginner level. And so we move to the ilm al-bayan, after which we go to the ilm al-badi, and then balagha is done. So 1/3 of balagha has been treated. Inshallah, we take up the second one, which is the ilm al-bayan. Ilm al-bayan, when we say bayan, yani zuhur, bayan bimana, something being apparent, something being clear, Jamil. So when we talk about bayan as explanation, yani sharh, bayan, we explain something so that the thing becomes clear, right? So dependent on the level of clarity of the thing, you give it a particular bayan to make sure the thing is more clear. So let's say I say something and it is 10% clear, or let's say it is not clear at all, 0, you would have to make an effort of 100% to make it clear. If I say something and it is 50% clear, you make an effort of 50% to make it completely clear, like that, in steps. So ilm al-bayan, what we will be looking at is the clarity, the level of clarity of statement. And what I'm saying is not mainstream. I want to give you a background understanding to this. What I'm saying right now is not mainstream. It's just something I carved from my own understanding of this chapter. So you are looking at levels of clarity of statement or levels of depth of statement in this ilm al-bayan. Now, ilm al-bayan at a point was considered as basically the balagha. That is the balagha, right? Because when you look at it, balagha, the finesse in speech, when you look at all the arts, music, poetry, music basically is poetry, and all these texts, poem and prose, when you look at them, when you are reading, there is something that catches attention so much. Imagery. Imagery. When you are reading a story and it is devoid of imagery, or you are reading a book and it's devoid of imagery, you realize that it becomes very difficult to cope. Any material that comes with imagery, like poetry like this, like the bait of this Huzaifa al-Araji, تتوضئين بألف دم ألف جرح من دمي ثم تفوتين الفرد لتصلي النافلة. He says a bait like that. You perform ablution with 1,000 blood oozing from my wounds, and then you leave the Salat al-Fard and go and pray nafila. Yani all these wounds, blood oozing, you perform ablution with it just to pray nafila. The imagery and the depth of the statement is what makes us get captured into words. So ilm al-bayan was almost seen as the balagha. And when you look at it, it is ilmun yubhasu fihi an التشبيه. It is a science in which we study. يبحث فيه بمعنى we study. يعني يدرس فيه عن التشبيه. We learn tashbih in this field, in the field of al-balagha. Tashbih is simile. والمجاز, majaz is metaphor. والكناية, and kinaya is I think I had the name somewhere, right? Metonymy, metonymy, but kinaya basically, as we've seen, to do تكني على عن الشيء بشيء. يعني you want to use an expression to take the place of maybe generosity. So you say, oh, هذا الرجل يده مفتوحة. his hand is opened. يده مغلولة, his hand is closed. هذا الرجل وجهه مبشوسة. Those kind of statements, you say it to represent a particular meaning. We call it kinaya. Now let me tell you something else. The whole field is about tashbih, basically. The whole field is about likening something to something, al-bayan. At the level of tashbih, the difference is that you use tools like, the word like. So we say the boy is like a doll. The boy is like a toy. The like here, we call this kind of statement tashbih. Now, when I come to say the boy is a toy, this is majaz. And kinaya, I would use something to represent the boy. I saw the doll. Or the doll, I use some expression to represent it. So all of them, it is at levels of comparison, levels of likening something to something. So the whole field basically is about tashbih lugatan, not istilahan. The whole ilm al-bayan field is about tashbih. Now let's look at tashbih. So we look at the first science, which is at-tashbih. So we are looking at three sciences here: at-tashbih, al-majaz, and then al-kinaya. The first one, which is the at-tashbih, says ilhaqu amrin bi amrin fi wasfin bi adatin li gharad. Yani ilhaqu amrin bi amrin, linking a particular situation or particular something to another, fi wasfin, in a description, bi adatin, with a tool, li gharad, for a purpose. So look at it. You are ilhaqu amrin, there is something, bi amrin, to another thing. So you are connecting you are linking something to another thing. So you should have two major parts that you are comparing. You are comparing them fi wasfin, in a particular feature that they might look alike. Bi adatin, with a tool. So you have the two parties, which is amr, and then you have the wasf, and then you have the adat, and the garad, which is the purpose of which you are doing that. So he says, wal amrul awwal yusamma al mushabbah. The first thing is called al mushabbah. So when I say al waladu ke al asad fi ash-shaja'a fi wasfin, remember, al waladu amrin, ke adat, al asadi, the another amr, fi ash-shaja'a, that is the wasf I'm describing them with. So the first word, which is the al-walad, becomes the mushabbah. Wathani, and the second amr becomes the al-mushabbah bihi, which is the asad in this case, mushabbah bihi, the one you are likening to. So the thing you are likening to the other is the al-mushabbah. And the thing you are likening this particular thing to is the al-mushabbahu bihi. And then you have the al-wasfu, which we call the wajhu shabah. Yani you say the boy is like the lion, or the boy is like a lion. It's like a lion in terms of what? What is the point of connection? The point of connection, which is the wajhu shabah, the point of similarity, wajhu shabah. So you say fish shaja'a, in terms of braveness. In terms of braveness, the boy is, so this particular way, not in terms of having 4 legs and all that. Jamil. And then the last part of it is al-adatu, the tool you are using to do the simile. The main one is the kef, ke, al-waladu kel asad, or al-waladu ke asad, aw nahwuha. So al-kefu aw nahwuha, kef or any other thing that works like that. There are other tools of at-tashbih. Says al-ilmu ken nuri fil hidayah. An example of a sentence, al-ilmu ken nuri fil hidayah. Knowledge is like light in guidance. The way light guides you, knowledge is like that. So you are comparing knowledge to light just in terms of that sifa, which is guidance. So this statement is at-tashbih, that has all the parts of at-tashbih. What are the parts of at-tashbih? Let's look at it. Al-ilmu here becomes the mushabbahun, the thing being compared to another. The nur that the ilm is being compared to is what? Mushabbahun bihi. And then al-hidayah to here becomes the wajhu shabah, the point of similarity. And then the last part, the kaf, which is the ken nur, becomes the adatu tashbih. So you have 4 parts: mushabbahun, mushabbahun bihi, wajhu shabah, adatu tashbih, making up a complete at-tashbih. Jamil says وَيَتَعَلَّقُ بِالتَّشْبِيهِ ثَلَاثَةُ مَبَاحِث. Tashbih has 3 things you need to learn under it. Jamil, al-awwalu fi arkanihi. The first one you need to know is about the arkan, and the arkan is what we are seeing here. Sorry, there is a little bit of confusion on the device. The machine sometimes gets a little bit sick. Jamil, so we have it here. Okay, good. So the arkan, the awwal mabhas is the arkan. The arkan are these 4 things: mushabbahun, mushabbahun bihi, wajhu shaba, adatu tashbih. These are the arkanu tashbih. And then wathani fi aqsamihi. The second thing you need to learn under here is the types of tashbih, the classifications of tashbih, which we will learn soon. وَالثَّالِثُ فِي الْغَرَدِ مِنْهُ. And the third thing you learn under tashbih is the purpose of tashbih. So you learn the parts that makes up tashbih, then you learn the classifications of tashbih, then you come to learn the purpose. Why is tashbih even done in the first place? Let's take this thing out. Sorry. So you learn all those 3 sciences, and then you are basically done with at-tashbih. Jamil. Now let's look at the first mabhas. Jamil. Let's look at the first mabhas, and then inshallah we can end this lesson with that. He says al-mabhath al-awwal fi arkan al-tashbih. The first point, the first thing we need to study under this science is the arkanu tashbih. Arkanu tashbih arba'atun. There are 4, as we've seen: al-mushabbahu wal-mushabbahu bihi wa yusammayani tarfay tashbih. The al-mushabbah and the mushabbah bihi, they are the 2 main points of the tashbih. Say the boy is like a lion. The boy and the lion are the 2 main parts of the tashbih. So we call them tarfa at-tashbih. Tarfa tashbih. Jamil. Wa yusammayani tarfay tashbih. They are called the 2 parts of tashbih. Wa wajhu shabahi, and the wajhu shabah wal adat, they make up the 4. Says wa wajhu shabah huwa al-wasfu al-khasu allazi qusida ishtiraqu at-tarafayn fihi. The wajhu shabah is the point where we want to tell you that, okay, these 2 tarafayn, they are engaged in this particular sifa, or they meet on this particular sifa. That is what we call the wajhu shabah, the point of similarity. Kal hidayati fil ilmi wal nur, like guidance in terms of with regards to the relationship between al ilm and nur. So al ilmu kan nuri fil hidayati. Can see that knowledge guides, light also guides. So that is the point where knowledge and light they meet. You can compare the 2 on any wajhu shabah that you want. Jamil. Adatu tashbih also says hiya al-lafzu allazi yadullu ala ma'na al-mushabaha. The adatu tashbih is the word or article that points to the meaning of similarity. So it is the tool that shows you that we are comparing something to something. So it's not just one. We have them a lot, and we will see them right now. Sheikh even brings them in his shar. Kal kaf, like the kaf, wa ka'anna, wa ma fi ma'nahuma. Kaf and ka'anna, these 2, and anything that comes in their meaning. And wa ma fi ma'nahuma, you can see a lot of articles that comes like that. It can be ism, like mithlu. Al-waladu mithlu al-asadi. Al-waladu shibhu al-asadi. Jamil. You can also have a fi'l. Al-waladu yahki al-asada. Al-waladu yushabihu al-asada. Al-waladu yudahi al-asada. Al-waladu yudari'u al-asada. Al-waladu yumathilu al-asada. This is a fi'l, and they all point to tashbih. You can have a harf which is kaf and ka'anna. So all these are the adatu tashbih, adawatu tashbih. He says, وَالْكَافُ يَلِيهَا الْمُشَبَّهُ بِهِ. When you use the kaf, what comes after it is the al-mushabbahu bihi. Al-ilmu kan-nuri, al-ilmu al-mushabbahu. Kaf adatu tashbih. What comes after it is the al-mushabbahu bihi, which is the an-nur. بِخِلَافِ كَأَنَّ, as against كَأَنَّ, فَيَلِيهَا الْمُشَبَّهُ. When you use كَأَنَّ, what comes after it is the al-mushabbahu bihi. Sorry, my lights just went off here. Alhamdulillah, we have battery enough to take us to the end of the lesson. Let me try getting some light here. Jamil. So when we look at this one, the بِخِلَافِ كَأَنَّ. So when you use kaf as the adatu tashbih in your tashbih, you would have the al-mushabbahu bihi coming after the kaf. When you use the كأن, you have the al-mushabbahu coming after it. So for example, the tawil, the bait on the wazn of tawil, where he says كأن الثريا راحة تشبر الدجى لتنظر طال الليل أم قد تعرض. He says that as if the Thuraya is the stars. He says it is as if the stars are rahatun, the hand, particularly the palm. Tashburu duja, that measures the night or the darkness. Litanzura ta'ala laylu, so that it sees, has the night been long, am qad ta'arrada, or it is short. So I don't think now in this our era anything of such is done, using the hand to measure the darkness of the night and all that. That is not done, Jamil. But the main point here is when you use ke'anna, you see that ke'anna thuraya rahatun tashburu duja. So the thuraya here is the al-mushabbahu. Jamil, ke'anna thuraya. And because ke'anna is used there, al-mushabbahu comes after it, al-thuraya. Rahatun tashburu duja. It is used to compare to the hand or the palm specifically. So the mushabbahu comes right away before the al-mushabbahu bihi is mentioned. In a simple sentence, you have something like كأن الولد أو كأن what's it called? كأن الولد أسد, something like that. كأن الولد أسد. You have the al-mushabbahu coming after the كأن, and then the al-mushabbahu bihi coming after when you say كأن الولد أسد, you have the al-walada being the al-mushabbahu, and then you have the al-asada being al-asadun being the al-mushabbahu bi. So when you use كأن, basically know that you are bringing the al-mushabbahu after it. When you use kaf, you know that you are bringing the mushabbahu bihi after it. كأن تفيد التشبيه إذا كان خبرها جامدا. One thing to know about the كأن also is when the khabar of the كأن is jamid, then it gives the meaning of tashbih, and it gives the meaning of ashak. إذا كان خبرها مشتقا, when the khabar is mushtaq, a derivative. Now we know the derivative. اسم المفعول, اسم الفاعل, صفة المشبه, صفة المشبه باسم الفاعل, صيغة, and all those words that are extracted, يعني, they are called mushtaqat. They are derivatives. But when you have a noun that is not derived from anything, it's just its own noun, then we say that, okay, you say كأن, you bring the كأن and the khabar becomes ism jamid, then we say we are doing tashbih. When the khabar becomes ism mushtaq, then we say we are doing what? We are having shak. Example, كأنك فاهم. كأنك فاهم is as if you understand it. It is as if you are understanding. It gives the meaning of shak. But this is not absolute. This qaida here is not absolute. You can still have the ka'annaka and then have mushtaq after it, and then it will still give the meaning of tashbih. Jamil. So it's not absolute, but then it's a qaida we must know. Jamil. Then he says, وَقَدْ يُذْكَرُ فِعِلٌ يُنْبِئُ عَنِ التَّشْبِيهِ نَحُ قَوْلِهِ تَعَالَى. Sometimes that adat tashbih is not specifically mentioned. The fi'l is mentioned that gives you the notion that we are doing tashbih here. نَحُ قَوْلِهِ تَعَالَى إِذَا رَأَيْتَهُمْ حَسِبْتَهُمْ لُؤْلُؤًا مَنْثُورًا. If you see them, you picture them as if, or you think them to be pearls scattered pearls. So this is you comparing, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comparing those creatures in heaven to scattered pearls. Because of the إِذَا رَأَيْتَهُمْ حَسِبْتَ, when you see them, you imagine them to be لُؤْلُؤًا مَنْثُورًا, as if they are scattered pearls. Now this fi'l hasiba gives us the meaning of the tashbih. It is a fi'l that gives us the feel of tashbih. وَإِذَا هُزِفَتْ أَدَاةُ التَّشْبِيهِ وَوَجْهُهُ سُمِّيَ تَشْبِيهًا بَلِيغًا. If you take out the two parts, وَجْهُ الشَّبَهِ, you take out the أداة التشبيه, then you have what we call تشبيه بليغ. وَجَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ لِبَاسًا. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we made the night like a garment. Now, the like is not in the Arabic, but I put it there in the English. Why? Because I know it is tashbih. Like we made the night a garment. That is the translation. We made the night a garment. But this is comparing the night to a garment because of what? It covers. The night covers just as the garment covers. أي كاللباس في الستر. Comparing it to dressing, to garment, because it covers. So look at something here. You have the tashbih, 4 parts. Al-mushabbahu, al-mushabbahu bihi, adatu tashbih, wajhu shabah. In the tashbih, you can take out the adatu tashbih. You can take out the wajhu shabah. So first of all, you can drop the wajhu shabah. Al-ilmu ken-nur. Khalas. And then you take out the adatu tashbih. Al-ilmu nurun. So when you take out these two, you now have what we call tashbihun baligh. Just as what we always reference when Sayyidatuna Aisha radiallahu anha was asked about the morals of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she said, "Khuluquhu al-Quran." His morals is the Quran, no adatu tashbih. It's not like khuluqu Rasulillahi sallallahu alaihi wasallam kal Qur'ani fi kaza kaza. No adatu tashbih, no wajhu shabah. We call it tashbih baligh. Yani the highest level you can reach with tashbih. The tarafay tashbih, the moment you take one out, you are out of tashbih. You enter into majaz, or you enter into any of the other ones, isti'ara, you enter into the kinaya or any of those sciences. The moment you take one part of the tarafay tashbih, al-mushabbahu or al-mushabbahu bihi, you've broken away from tashbih. Jamil. So in our next lesson, we are going to be looking at probably the aqsam, right? The aqsam tashbih, inshallah. The lies of a little bit of distraction created some unwanted scenes. But then inshallah, if anything is unclear, please do all to call my attention. Let me clarify, inshallah. Till we meet again on our next lesson, have a very good Arabic time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.